A lot of people just went home for the holidays, and there are apparently, supposedly, real-life human beings who are supporting Donald Trump.
Like, would actually vote for him. It's not just like I double-tapped and was entertained by his shenanigans. Like, I would take my moment out of my day, go to the ballot box, and cast a vote for Donald Trump.
And the real hard part is, I know there are people who listen to our radio station who love hip-hop culture, who went home and had family members who were like, I'm for Donald Trump. And they were like so mortified inside that someone would be so ignorant and uninformed to write for that borderline Nazi fascist piece of human trash who's worsening our country by the second. If he turned up dead tomorrow, I promise you I will make a freestyle celebration.
So when did you get upset about it? Because I've actually, my passion for the topic has actually turned down. Because it's so ridiculous at this point. Because you guys remember.
My family's put a battery in my back.
Did you have a family member that's for Donald Trump? Is that what it is?
No, the opposite. My family's put a battery in my back because my dad and my brother are so offended by it. So they put a battery in my back to be.
But they weren't offended 6 months ago?
They're
or however long it's been?
They're upset that this is still going. They're like, okay, 6 months ago, if you told me we'd get to December and he'd still be the guy, and there would still be people supporting him, they wouldn't have believed it. And now here we are in December. He's still the only guy they have. So the question is...
Not Rubio, not Cruz.
Not right now, not Bush. None of them right now. So the question is, I wonder, is there anyone out there you know in your real life who actually is supporting Donald Trump?
Maybe it's you.
Sure.
Maybe you're listening right now and you cast a vote for Donald Trump.
Well, they might have changed the station after I said that I was kind of rooting for him to die.
No,
but yes,
they'd call right now, 800-223-9797. They're going to call up and justify.
Rooting for him to die is strong, but I really am not. I'm offended. I'm very...
What are you offended by?
The idea that we have this person who's bringing out these horrible racist thoughts in human beings, but to Mexican Americans, to Muslim Americans, to all these people, starting this conversation, this anti-refugee... my mother was a refugee. Like, that's what this country is based on.
I've overheard people... I remember thinking I was on the subway and someone said, there's like, they support Trump. It was like a conversation and everybody was eavesdropping. It's like, with him, is what you see is what you get. Like, they feel like he's not a liar. He's thinking what a lot of people really want to say and really being honest about it.
That doesn't make it okay.
Of course not.
I know, but everyone says that. Everyone's like, at least he's honest. First of all, he's not honest, okay? This is not the person he was his whole life. He did not treat people like this. He was not a hateful...
He didn't want... You don't think his whole life he wanted immigrants and specifically Muslims to wear badges and register their names in a database?
I don't think he wanted that his whole life.
You don't think so?
I've never heard he was that bad a person. He's putting on, which is even worse. True. And the more he does it, the more people feed into it. So he's like, oh, I'm going to just keep going.
All right, well, let's leave it right here and we'll take some calls next. And what exactly? You just want to hear from people who either have or know real people in their lives
who are telling them, oh no, I support this guy.
For him. Or from people who...
I mean, if there's actual real people who support Donald Trump who want to call, I'd love to hear from them too. But my question is, I don't know anyone in real life who's supporting Donald Trump. I hear about it. I don't actually know them. To me, it's a myth. It's like the
I think I gotta ask my mom.
Oh, shut up, Ebro.
I gotta ask my mom.
No.
Yo, we got into an argument about this refugee thing over the weekend.
That she might
and she thinks Obama's weak. She thinks he's soft. She wants a tough talking president.
No disrespect, Ebro. If your mom's voting for Donald Trump, I might slap your mom.
Erica from Queens.
Yes.
Your dad is voting for Donald Trump.
Yes, he must be out his mind. My 9-year-old daughter was so upset because she said she's half Hispanic. How can you be voting for him?
Wow, she's 9 and she understands what time it is. And what is his reasoning?
He believes in him for some reason I don't know.
I'll say this. Older people, and I think my mom included.
Don't try to defend your mom.
I'm not defending my mom. I'm saying older people are so far removed from when they struggled in this country. My mom's father and mother were refugees. World War II, came here as Jews from Eastern Europe, running from Hitler, refugees to America. 70 years, my mom, 70 years old. She sees the world completely different now. And you know how people are when they get on the inside. They want to keep people out. You see it all the time. You see people who are hippies and activists in their 20s and 30s. Now they're 50 and 60 and all of a sudden they're voting conservative because they don't want things to change. We have Tamara in New Jersey. Tamara.
Yeah, what's up?
You say your husband is voting for Trump.
Yeah, he actually, he likes him a lot. He said he's very strong and, just like how your mom feels, everybody thinks Obama's weak. I feel Obama's weak, and I'm a black female, and, I don't really think he's done much for us, He's passed a lot of laws that, for me, I think weren't even needed.
Yeah, but I don't understand. I don't understand. But, okay, Obama being, if you believe he's militarily weak or whatever, just I'm stupid.
Because he doesn't kick, scream, and yell and act tough.
I don't agree with that, but that's fine. That's fine. But he's not running for president. But he's not running for president anyway. So my question is, what about Trump, though? What about Trump's specific things he said about...
I mean, he says things that are a little blunt, that seems a little, out there. But I feel like some people, honestly believe the things he says. And I don't agree with everything he says. Trust me, I don't. But I feel like he's honest and he has some good points. So
if you're being an honest idiot isn't good. I don't understand why people think that's a good quality.
Okay, let me tell you. From my perspective of seeing him on the news, I mean, he seems very arrogant and rude, and the way he treats the Latin community and how he feels about Muslims. I mean, I don't think all Hispanic people are lazy and stuff like that, and the way, a lot of our people are Mexicans, are building for this country, so, I feel like I disagree with him on that. But, he has some good points.
I don't understand. You lost me right there. You lost me right there.
What are some of the good points that please explain
It's about
to me.
jobs, right? Let me help you out. Tomorrow, you like what he says about jobs and keeping jobs in America, yes?
Yes.
Right. That's what most people like. Let me tell you why Donald Trump's lying to you. To keep jobs in America means you have to raise the minimum wage. Most Republicans do not want to pay their workers more because it cuts into their profits, which is why corporations send jobs overseas in the first place, including Donald Trump, who sends jobs from many of his corporations and the corporations he supports overseas so they can get cheap labor. You are not going to get cheap labor in the United States, which is why immigrants who are illegal come here and work hard, because they do it for cheap without medical benefits, which are expensive.
How about
He
that?
is lying to you. He is bold-faced lying to you. Because most people are sold on the jobs thing.
I don't even think she could have, until you gave it to her, though, I don't think she could have articulated what she even liked.
Well, most people are sold on that. We need jobs.
She has a husband who's bullying her opinion because he's a racist and he likes Donald Trump's racism.
we're not gonna
and he's
argue
like,
that
oh,
far.
yeah, I like it. I also agree with what he's saying, so you should vote for him, too.
We have Gail in Brooklyn. Your husband supports Trump, too.
Okay, guys, first off, he's not a racist.
Just get a divorce. I'm helping you. Let me get to the point. Get a divorce.
Let her
I'm here to
talk,
help.
Rosenberg. Let her talk.
No, I'll be honest with you. As Ebro said earlier with his mother, my husband does have the position of he wants a president who seems to be more assertive, seems more powerful.
I understand that. And for those of you that like to talk, the rhetoric that Donald Trump gives you with the strong thing, right? They're like, we need to take America back, that whole strong talk. Check this out, fam. America does not have anything to export to the world. People in other parts of the world do not have to do business with us to make money.
But
Which
that's the
means...
problem, bro. We have this idea that we're so powerful.
But we're not. We're not, guys. I hate to break it to you, we're not. We have no major export. The reason we were powerful in the 40s, 50s, and 60s was because we ran the world in cotton, automobiles, and oil.
I agree.
That's how we got rich, because we had industrialization before a lot of the world. Yo, here in 2015, if we do not learn how to do business with the rest of the world,
We'll be behind Europe.
we're going to be behind. And currently, we are behind in education with the rest of the world. The only way we're going to compete is if we have a president that learns how to make the rest of the world like us, not dislike us. Yo, fam, China owns more real estate in the United States than the United States does.
Exactly.
What are y'all talking about? Trump is lying to you, and it's cool.
I really appreciate that you're giving people this much credit, and you're saying the reason is that they like the strong president. It's not. It's because they're also racist, bro. He says the truth. He said, what's the truth? The truth is that he hates Mexicans and he hates Muslims. And guess what? So do they.
He doesn't. I think he just bought into this idea that they're a threat to us, when in actuality, there really isn't.
So are you getting a divorce or not? We've been talking 10 minutes. I know a lawyer.
What?
Nothing.
Thanks, Gail. Gail from Brooklyn, her husband's a Trump supporter. He wants to tussle over this political conversation with us here at Ebro in the morning. What's your name, sir?
Mike.
Talk to us. You're voting Donald Trump.
All right. I think he's exactly what America needs. I think we need somebody strong. I agree with getting America strong again.
What does that mean? What is that? Let's use real words. What does that mean?
Get jobs back in America. Get jobs to stay in America.
And how do you propose that just happens like that? You think that these corporations that are getting cheap labor, other places want to pay more expensive labor here in America?
Hold on, let him get a chance.
Well, hold on. What he said is that he's going to make it easier for business, cheaper for business to stay in America. He's going to tax foreign companies so it could be harder for them to bring their business here, and that'll increase, the business of American companies.
So by taxing foreign companies that come here, that's going to make it harder for other companies, which then will encourage companies here to keep jobs here.
Exactly.
So, but is he going to tax companies that send their jobs elsewhere?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. The current problem we
But
have
the thing is, if he gives them breaks, they're not going to have to send their jobs out. They could keep them here.
What's the break he's going to give them?
I don't know.
Taxes?
We got to find out.
You got to try to base on the Muslim standpoint because we debate about this all the time.
Well, I want to know. I like the job. I mean, the Muslim thing for me is a little. It's a softball because it's just racist. Like you could debate like, oh, Muslims are dangerous. There's 1.6 billion Muslims on planet Earth.
Not all Muslims are terrorists, but all
really?
are Muslims. You know what I mean? And right now, what happened in Paris?
That's not a fact. That's not a fact.
Yo, my man.
It's kind of hard to bring.
Gail, I don't know what to do here. Gail, help me out.
Not all terrorists are Muslims. That's just not a fact.
How can you even say that?
For my husband's defense, he does come from a family of immigrants. I try to make that point with him too. His parents.
Yo, we have domestic terrorists. We had a guy just shot up a Planned Parenthood. We had a guy walked into a church. We have guys shot at shoot up schools.
These are all problems. You understand?
Yeah,
and they want stricter regulations. They want stricter background checks. How come the White House is against that? Like,
No, the White House isn't against stricter background checks.
The
White House is not against stricter background checks on guns. That's not true. No, but that's the problem. One of the biggest problems in America is not terrorists from other countries. One of the biggest problems in America is terrorists on our soil.
Yeah, but they want, what Congress wants, unanimously, Republican and Democrat, is stricter background checks on the Syrian immigrants that are going to come here. And the White House doesn't want that. Like,
That's not true.
The serious thing what happened in Paris?
Yo, there was one guy with one passport, and that's in Paris. That wasn't in the United States.
Yeah, we already have a very strict, like, you don't just show up here and get into the country.
We turn away tens of thousands.
Yeah, like, not everyone gets in. There's a process to getting in here.
Listen.
Hold on. I say this. Are we going to end this conversation, babe? We're going to both vote against Donald now or no?
Nah, no. Check this out. No. Let him vote for Donald Trump. You guys allowed Donald Trump to get into the White House. That's what y'all feel is the thing. Look, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm in a high tax bracket. Donald Trump becoming president don't help do nothing but put more money in my pocket. Let's keep it 100.
You want to keep it all the way?
Let's keep it all the way 100.
And since we're keeping it 100, I'm an African-American female that he's married to, and Donald Trump don't exactly support our views and our...
Not exactly.
So if y'all want Donald Trump to be the president, I'm a BI.
I do not support him.
Cause y'all that's falling for the okie doke that really think that he's gonna help y'all get jobs.
Okay.
All right.
Good luck with all that. And I say that with all due respect.
Because the last time the economy fell apart, you know who was the president? A rich Republican by the name of George Bush. And you know what was happening on Wall Street with the banks? They was taking advantage of poor people and taking their homes, and the economy almost fell apart. The economy is only where it is right now, trading at 16,000 almost, well, 14 between 14 and 16 because of Obama. And it ain't because Republicans wanted him to get that economic victory. Let's keep it 100.
Clap it.
I agree with you.
Thank
you.
So y'all can fall for all that cowboy tough talk, watching too many westerns and listening to rap music if you want.
Yep.
Mike.
Yeah,
you could spew your racist anti-Muslim rhetoric if you like.
I'm not racist, man.
Are you sure?
He sounds very confused.
Are you sure,
I
Mike?
just think we got to take what's going on seriously, man. That's all.
No. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. I think most people are being lied to with regard to how it would actually happen and where the money is actually coming from. I don't think people realize that by the jobs issue, which I think we all agree is a big problem, really stems from the fact that there is no incentive financially for big corporations to keep businesses on this soil. That's the biggest problem. And until companies that are domestic get penalized for not sending jobs overseas and understand that their profit margins are going to decrease because Americans want more money in their pocket. They want less taxes. Medical benefits are expensive. And in a country like America where you have, it's a democracy and you have people who have certain rights, you can't just treat them bad and they can't work in sweatshops and things like that in other countries. Until corporations here understand that the profit margin is going to be cut a little bit, we're not going to fix that problem. I hate to break it to everybody.
I agree with you.
The corporate executives and their big bonuses are going to get decreased, and those dudes who carry a lot of weight don't want to see that happen.
I agree. I agree with you, and I think Trump could do that.
Why would Trump do that? He's a billionaire. Why would he go and cut profits of his friends? Why would he cut profits of his buddies?
Because he already has money. It's not about profit.
Yo, my man. My man, you like The Apprentice? You like The Apprentice? You like that show?
I never seen it.
You never seen The Apprentice on NBC?
Nope, not once.
Yep.
You sure?
Positive.
He hasn't.
I watch the news, I watch sports, and I watch The Walking Dead. That's it.
Well, get used to The Walking Dead. We're about to be out.
You are, and you actually, The Walking Dead is a metaphor for people like you.
What are you talking about?
It's a metaphor. It's not really about zombies. It's actually about people who are so blind to what's going on around them that they are zombies and walking dead. They're not actually alive.
Dead.
That's deep.
No, that's what the show's about. It's a metaphor.
I got to go back to work, all right?
Mike, thanks for calling, man. It was great talking to you.